Well, hello and welcome to GetChemistryHelp.com. My name is Dr. Kent, and in this lesson we're going to work a few practice problems on compound unit conversions. Now, if you haven't watched the accompanying lesson on compound unit conversions, I would really suggest that you watch that first before working these practice problems. And again, as a reminder, there is a PDF worksheet available of all of these problems on GetChemistryHelp.com that you can print out and follow along with. So let's go ahead and look at problem number 1. It says a certain medication is set to deliver through an IV at a rate of 3.0 milligrams per minute. What is this rate in nanograms per second? Okay, so we have 3.0 milligrams per minute. And our goal is to get it into nanograms per second. Okay. Well, as we saw in our lesson on this, whatever is on top, milligrams, has to be converted into whatever is on top in the end, nanograms. And whatever is on bottom in the beginning, minutes, has to be converted into whatever is on bottom in the end, in this case, seconds. So we're going milligrams to nanograms, minutes to seconds. Now, the order we do it in mathematically does not matter. I can convert milligrams to nanograms, then minutes per seconds, or I could do minutes to seconds and then milligrams to nanograms. But in our case, I'll just do milligrams to nanograms. Okay, well, there isn't a direct conversion between milligrams and nanograms, but they do both have grams in common. So we could go milligrams to grams and then grams to nanograms. Okay, so let's just see. If I want to turn milligrams into grams. Okay, well, milli, we saw in our lesson on the metric system, means 10 to the negative third. So a milligram would be 10 to the negative third grams. Now remember, again, from that lesson on the metric system, since milli is on the left side, the prefix is over here, the exponent has to be on the opposite side. So the prefix is on one side, the exponent has to be on the other. So this would just be 1 milligram is 10 to the negative third grams. Okay, so now here then in our conversion, since milligrams is on top, for it to cancel it has to go on the bottom. So I put the 1 milligram on the bottom and the 10 to the negative third grams on the top. So now milligrams is canceled. Okay, now we need to go from grams into nanograms. So we need to go from grams into nanograms. Okay, well, you might know that nano means 10 to the negative ninth. So again, our question is it 10 to the negative ninth grams is a nanogram? Or is it a gram is 10 to the negative ninth nanograms? Well, again, the prefix nano is on the right side, so the exponent always goes on the opposite side. So it would be 10 to the negative ninth. So a nanogram is 10 to the negative ninth grams. So we just put a 1 here on this side. Okay, so now I have to figure out how to make this cancel. Well, I've got grams on top, so the conversion half that has grams in it has to go on the bottom. So I put 10 to the negative ninth grams down here. So 1 nanogram would go on top. So we cancel out grams, and we're left with nanograms. So there we go. So we're partway there. Here's nanograms. Here's nanograms. Now I got to do minutes on bottom into seconds. So I just keep going on my conversion track here. But now minutes are on bottom. So for those to cancel, I've got to put minutes on top. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. Now minutes cancels. And we're left with seconds, which is the other thing we want. We want seconds. So now we got seconds. Okay, so we go ahead and we punch this in our calculator, and I take 3.0 times 10 to the negative third divided by 10 to the negative ninth divided by 60, and I got 50,000 nanograms per second. Okay, well, the last thing to always consider in these calculations is the significant figures. So 3.0, well, this has two significant figures because we learned in our lesson on significant digits that zeros on the right, or trailing zeros, are significant if there's a decimal, and there's a big decimal right there. 10 to the negative third grams into milligrams. Well, that is a metric to metric conversion, which means that one is exact because that's been defined. So that one's exact. Nanograms into 10 to the negative ninth gram. Again, that's metric to metric, so that's been defined and is an exact conversion. 1 minute is 60 seconds. Well, again, that also hasn't been measured. That's been defined, so that's exact. So we have 2 sig figs, exact, 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 which means the fewest is 2. So our answer has to have 2. Okay, well, of course I can't just keep 50 and get rid of all these. The better way to write this would be to write it in scientific notation. So I keep the 2 significant digits, the 5 and the 0, and I make it scientific notation. So I put the decimal here, and that decimal would have moved 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So it would be 5.0 times 10 to the 4th nanograms per second. Okay, let's go on to number 2 here. This one says a drug is administered at a rate of 14.5 centiliters per hour. What is this rate in microliters per second? Okay, so 14.5 centiliters per hour. And we're trying to go to microliters per second. Okay, so the first part, we can do the top, centiliters into microliters. Well, they both have the same base unit of liters in common, so let's convert through liters. So we can go from centiliters to liters, and then liters to microliters. So we know we're starting with centiliters, so that will have to go on the bottom, and we want to go to liters. So what does centi mean? Well, centi means 10 to the negative second. So since the prefix is on the bottom, the exponent, 10 to the negative second, will go on the top. Perfect. Now we're out of centiliters. Next, we want to go from liters to microliters. So now liters are on top, so liters will have to go on bottom in the subsequent conversion, and then microliters will go on top. Micro means 10 to the negative sixth, so will that go on top or bottom? Well, the prefix is on top, right? So the exponent has to go on the bottom, 10 to the negative sixth. That would just be a 1 up there. Okay, we're halfway there. Now we've got our microliters, which is what we wanted. Now we have to get hours into seconds. Okay, well, hours are on the bottom here, so to cancel, we'll have to put hours on top. Now you might not know exactly how to convert from hours to seconds, but I bet you know hours to minutes. So you probably know 1 hour is 60 minutes. So that cancels out our hours. And then you probably know minutes to seconds. So minutes are on bottom here. So let's put minutes on top here. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. And now minutes is canceled. So now we have seconds down here, just like we wanted. Okay, well now it's just a matter of putting it into our calculator. So again, multiply by the top, divide by whatever's on bottom. So 14.5 times 10 to the negative second divided by 10 to the negative sixth divided by 60 divided by 60. And when I did that, I got 40.277, repeating, microliters per second. Okay, well, how about our significant figures? Well, the original measurement, this one has 3 sig figs. How about this one? Well, liters to centiliters, that's exact. I'll just put E. Microliters to liters, those are metric to metric, so that's exact. How about hours to minutes? Well, that one also has been defined as exactly 60 minutes in an hour, so that's exact. How about minutes to seconds? Also been defined, so that's exact. So we started with 3, the rest were all exact, so the answer is going to have 3. So 40.277 would round off to become 40.3 microliters per second. Okay, good. There's number 2. Now let's try number 3. This one says an automobile tire has a pressure of 32 psi, and psi stands for pounds per square inch. So 32 pounds per square inch. What is the pressure in grams per square centimeter? So 32 pounds, I'll put LB, that's the abbreviation for pounds, over square inch. And I'm trying to get to grams per square centimeter. Now once again, it doesn't matter which I do first. I could do pounds to grams first, or inches squared to centimeters squared first. So it gets the same answer mathematically. I'll just keep doing the top one first. So pound is on top, so I know pound is going to have to go on bottom. Okay, well I need a conversion then that has pounds. So they told me that 1 pound was 454 grams. Well, that's perfect because I want to go into grams. So since pounds on the bottom would be 1 pound, and 454 grams would go on the top. So pounds, pounds. Now we're left with grams. Okay, now I need inches squared into centimeters squared. So let's look here. Well, inches are on the bottom, so inches will have to go on top here. And then I need some kind of conversion that will get me closer. And look again, they told me 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So inches on top means centimeters will go on the bottom. So 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters. Okay, however, note that inches squared will not be canceled out by just inches. So since this unit is squared, this unit needs to become squared. But I can't just put a 2 here. I have to square the entire conversion factor, like so. So now inches squared is canceled out with inches squared. So now, when I put this into my calculator, it's going to be 32 times 454. And this 2.54 on the bottom, well, that's inside the parentheses, so that's also squared. So divided by 2.54 centimeters squared. So I punch that in my calculator, and I get 2,251.8445 grams per centimeter squared, because we got grams here and centimeters squared on the bottom. Okay, so let's look at our significant figures. Well, the first one again, this one has, of course, 2. How about 454? Is that exact or is that 3? Well, pounds to grams. This is English to metric, so that's not exact. Somebody had to measure this. So that would be 3 significant figures. How about inch to 2.54 centimeters? Well, that's also English to metric, but recall, 1 inch to 2.54 centimeters, that's the only exact English to metric one, because again, that was one that was defined. So this is the only exact English to metric one. So this one is exact. Okay, so how many significant figures should our answer have? Well, we've got 2, 3, and exact. The fewest is 2, so this would become 2. So 5 tells me to round up, so that would become 2, 3. And we'll just go ahead and put it in scientific notation. So 2.3 times 10 to the third grams per centimeter squared. So there you go. There's number 3. Okay, so one last conversion, and this one is definitely a thinker. This one says the density of propane is 36.28 pounds per cubic feet. Convert this to kilograms per cubic meters. Okay, so I'm starting off with 36.28 pounds per cubic feet. Okay, once again, the top pounds has to go to the top kilograms, and the bottom feet cubed will have to go to meters cubed. So again, the unit order doesn't matter, so we can do pounds first or feet cubed first. Let's just do pounds again. So pounds to kilograms. Well, I don't know a direct conversion from pounds to kilograms, but I do see pounds to grams. So we can do that one first. So pounds are on top here, so we'll put pounds on bottom down here, and then the other half of the conversion, 454 grams, on top here. Okay, got rid of pounds. Now I'm in grams, and I want to go to kilograms. Okay, well I can do that because I know my metric conversions. So grams are on top here. So I'll put grams on bottom here, which means kilograms goes on top. Now kilo means 10 to the third. So will 10 to the third go on top with the prefix or go on bottom opposite the prefix? Well, of course, hopefully we know by now that it always goes opposite. So kilogram is 10 to the third grams. That would just be a 1 up there. Okay, halfway there. Now we're in kilograms. Now we need to get cubic feet into cubic meters. So let's see what we know. Well, I know inches and centimeters. Well, I know how to get centimeters to inches. And I know how to get centimeters to meters. But how about feet to inches? Oh yeah, I know that too. So I could go feet to inch, inch to centimeter, and then centimeters to meters. So let's just do that. So feet are on bottom, so feet will go on top here. And the first one I know is inches. So I know that 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, but notice feet has been cubed. So this conversion will also have to be cubed. So I'll cube this whole conversion. Okay, now I've canceled out cubic feet. Now I'm in cubic inches. Okay, well I need a conversion that has inches in it. So let's see. Inch to 2.54 centimeters. Okay, well inches are on bottom. So I'll put inch on top here. Over 2.54 centimeters. Okay, but here once again, this is not just inches, this is inches cubed. So since this is inches cubed, this also has to become cubed. So this conversion also gets cubed. Now I've canceled out inches cubed, canceled out inches cubed. Now I'm in centimeters cubed, and I want to go to meters cubed. Okay, well, centimeters are on the bottom, so centimeters will go on top in the next conversion, and meters will go on bottom. What does centi mean? Well, centi means 10 to the negative second. So 10 to the negative second will have to go on the bottom since the prefix is on the top. But once again, centimeters is cubed. This centimeters isn't, so this conversion factor has to be cubed, else it won't cancel out properly. Okay, there we go. So now I'm left with kilograms over meters cubed, which is what I want. So we take all of that and punch that in our calculator, and I got 581.672 kilograms per meter cubed. Okay, well let's look at our significant figures. So the original measurement, this one had 4 sig figs. How about this one, 454? Is that 3 or exact? Well, pounds are English, grams are metric, so that's not exact. So that's been measured. Someone had to measure that, so that one's 3. So 3 sig figs. How about kilograms to grams? Okay, well that one is exact because that's metric to metric, so that's been defined. Okay. How about 1 foot to 12 inches? Well, that's English to English. Again, that one's been defined. That's exact. 1 inch to 2.54 centimeters. Well, that is English to metric, but recall, that is our only exact English to metric. So that one has been defined. And then centimeters to meters, of course, that's metric to metric, so that's also going to be exact. So how many significant figures should our answer have? Well, we got 4, 3, exact, 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 exact. So the fewest is 3. So our answer can only have 3 sig figs. So I round that off. The 6 tells me to round up, so I can either write that as 582 kilograms per meter cubed, or I could write that in scientific notation as 5.82 times 10 to the second, and still kilograms per meter cubed. Well, there you go. That was quite a long one there. I just want to point out, though, on your calculator, make sure you enter in it everything in correctly. So 36.28 times 454 divided by 10 to the third divided by 12, but this is cubed. So divided by 12 cubed divided by 2.54 cubed divided by 10 to the negative second cubed. and then you should get this answer. Well, I hope you enjoyed these problems. For more chemistry help, be sure and come to getchemistryhelp.com, and we will catch you again next time. Thank you.